I came back to the mouth of the Don River after seeing Hooded Mergansers performing their elaborate courtship displays just a few days earlier. That day, I didn't have my camera, so I had to return to capture footage and share with you. Now, Hooded Merganser Courtship happens in small groups like this, with several males and a few females. The females have a much more understated appearance. They're brownish all over, with a warm cinnamon crest that catches the light as they move. The males, however, are anything but subtle, in both appearance and behavior. First off, they have these flamboyant black and white crests, or hoods, from which they get their name, Hooded Mergansers. Secondly, when they're on the water with their wings folded, they create the appearance of 3 white stripes against their black back and chestnut brown flanks, also drawing attention to them. And if that weren't enough, they engage in extraordinary displays and fierce chases that make them impossible to ignore. The first thing one notices is the raising and lowering of their hoods, or crests. Their head shape changes entirely depending on whether the crest is fanned out or depressed. In addition to crest raising, other courtship displays include head shaking, head throwing, pumping, upward stretches, and making frog-like croaking sounds. I only learned about these specific displays after diving into my favorite online resources, All About Birds and Birds of the World. There, I learned these were distinct behaviors. You see, initially, it all blended in for me. Quick movements, head tossing, shaking. But after reading about them and re-examining my footage slowly, I started to see some of the differences. There's the rapid side-to-side head shakes that are sometimes followed by a head throw, but not always. There's the frog-like croak the male makes as its head returns to the upright position after a head throw. Now, a side note here. I had to remove all the audio as there was someone beside me the entire time with music blaring from his scooter, so I couldn't hear any nature sounds whatsoever. But you can still see the bird's mouth moving as it makes the croaking sound after the head toss. There's also pumping, which is apparently different from a simple upward stretch. Even now, I'm not always sure where one ends and another begins, but I do think I can spot some for sure. I have to say, that abrupt head toss where the crest touches the bird's back is my favorite. It's so dramatic. I mean, talk about flair and flamboyance. The females also engage in courtship displays, but compared to the males, they are relatively subtle. They include head bobbing, pumping, and making hoarse gack calls. I'm not sure if I actually captured any female courtship, but if you notice something I missed, please point it out in the comments below. Last but not least, I have to show you some of the wild chases. Forget wild goose chases. It seems wild duck chases is where it's at, if you ask me. Now, most of the time, it was males chasing males. Sometimes it seemed like the activity started out of the blue, and sometimes they were even using their wings like oars to drive themselves across the water. I mean, talk about intense. Occasionally, a male chased a female, but according to my literature, apparently this has a different meaning. The male is not trying to chase her away, but rather trying to win her attention by showing her how strong and fit he is as a potential mate. I say stick to the crest raising and head tossing, but then again, what do I know? What this entire experience reminded me of, yet again, was that I learned so much just by watching birds. But it's when I pair that with what we know from research that those observations really begin to take shape. This is Birding with Kaliopi, where a head toss is never just a head toss.